Morning, good evening, good afternoon to all our viewers. Welcome you to our podcast today, where we delve into the critical realm of safeguarding brand integrity and combating counterfeiting, particularly in the fast moving consumer goods industry. Today, my colleague Mr. Sipal Singh and I will unravel a captivating case study that sheds light on the challenges faced and the innovative strategies employed in ensuring the authenticity of fast moving consumer good products. The case study is for safeguarding brand integrity and counterfeiting. And this particular case study is a very interesting one. And I would like Mr. Sipal Singh to give a short brief on the case study that we are about to discuss.
Thank you, Ms. Pauna Varlia. This is particular case study which certainly requires a bit of introduction and back. Invariably, the action to curb counterfeiting and brand infringement in India is done by the investigating groups, our agencies, and enforcement agencies inside India, which involves, of course, the identification of the product, duplicate products, police complaint, association with the police for conducting raids, followed by proceedings in the court of law against the counterfeiting. That is, he may be a local manufacturer, he may be only a stockist, he may be only hoarder. The raid action against them creates an immediate impact to deter them from indulging in the counterfeiting. This helps in boosting the sale of original products. So that is normal the approach which is adopted by the agencies in India, inside India, either enforcement agencies or police, or you may say the policing. However, the present case study delves into a crucial initiative which was undertaken by Brand Protection Associates and Premier Shield to combat the smuggling of counterfeit heads and shoulders shampoos from Nepal to the Indian market. This was a task assigned by a top manufacturing group of heads and shoulders to our group, and we embarked on a comprehensive mission and strategy to identify and curb the illicit trade of these counterfeited products. It was discovered through our investigations in India, as well as from the inputs received from the manufacturers, genuine manufacturers, that the Indian market has been flooded by duplicate heads and shoulders shampoos from towns of Bihar bordering Nepal. Thus, identifying the problem, we wanted to go ahead and say how to proceed with this. Now, though rigorous market surveys in India and investigative efforts by our teams uncovered in numerous instances of unauthorized, even holding, even small scale manufacturing and sale of duplicate heads and shoulders in India. But the flooding of market from outside India or from the border areas of Bihar could not be comprehended, and therefore we had to take our team to Nepal to study the entire situation and then proceed with it. So this is the background on the basis of which we proceeded further. Pawan.
Mr. Sipal Singh, what were just before we start off, let me just give a little brief on Brand Protection Associates. Brand Protection Associates was formed to curb the proliferation of duplicate brands in the Indian market. From the Indian market, we were invited by foreign companies to look at their protection of brands in various areas like tobacco, medicines, oil, in markets within India and in surrounding areas of India. Now, this particular problem that we are going to be discussing was a problem which started in India, but the origination of this was from China to Nepal and into India. Mr. Sipal Singh, let me ask a very simple question. What are the general practices, strategies, and tactics used or applied for curbing brand infringement and counterfeiting in India?
A bit of correction. This product was not originated from India. This product was identified by us in India because the Indian markets were being flooded
Yes, that is
from
true.
outside. So that was not originated in
Yes,
India.
well,
We
this was a
identified.
product being sold in India, but was
Yes,
coming in
so
from
that's what
somewhere
I
else.
say. A bit of a correction. It's not did not originate. We found it that the market, despite our efforts, despite raids, despite investigation, still the market was getting flooded again and again. Then we were also given some inputs by the original manufacturers of the heads and shoulders. And they said, okay, we have also got inputs that this is coming from the border areas of Nepal and Bihar. Now, the question of border areas of Nepal and Bihar aroused all the anxiety. And therefore, a joint visit was made to Nepal by our group, that is Brand Protection Premier Shield, and the PNG, I like to mention, senior officers. We went to Nepal and then tried to deal with this situation. I'll come forward, I'll come and elaborate it further. But for the time being, the question which you are asked is that how is it different and how is the normal practice? Now, normal practice is that we conduct market survey. When we get an idea that this market is getting duplicate product and company tells us to find out, then we conduct market survey by sending our team in the market. In this process of market survey, sometimes a little deep investigations are also required. Market survey will reveal that here, these are the places where the duplicate products are lying. Because as per inputs given to them, what's the difference between duplicate? I'm not going to that. What is the difference between duplicate? What's the difference between the original? So these all inputs are with us from the manufacturer. Then we send our teams to survey the market. After survey, they say, all right, there are people who are selling this duplicate. Now, once the survey is conducted, then we go into investigating efforts. All right, they are selling, but which are the stockists? Which are the seller who are more involved in it? So we'll start investigation with one or two people who are deeply involved. So our investigative efforts will be in terms of getting duplicate products. As far as we are concerned, we'll tell them that there is a team here, and we constitute that team. There's a team which is getting this duplicate product at cheap rate, and they want to sell. So we want to purchase that from them, that duplicate product. That investigating team goes into operation. It meets various dealers who are selling the duplicate product, and they say what is the cost and all. After negotiating and all for the duplicate product, they place an order. They place an order without identifying that they are concerned with the investigating agency. The placement order also sometimes involved giving a little advance. Now the order is placed, and they are asked by what time they deliver the goods to us. They give us some time. We approach again. And by the time we approach second time, that the team has approached second time, we have identified all the routes to that particular market, a particular dealer, and also identified as to what are the hours at which we can get the police into it, because there should be a little lean time when we take a police to it. So once we have identified, then we have taken the samples also. Then we want to authenticate further that today we will go and raid them and take the duplicate products. Tomorrow it will say it was not there. They have come, so we may go with the police, but they say they have this product was never with us. So to overcome this problem, legal problem, we get some time with us, and during the investigation, notaries, local notaries. And in the presence of notaries, we purchase the duplicate products, a small few samples, etc. And notary comes to our office and identify this is purchased from so and so, so and so, so at such time. The notarized product, along with our investigation and survey efforts, are then intimated to the police in the form of a first information rule or journal diary. The police takes cognizance of this and then say, okay, all right, we agree with you. you have got a notarized product. You have given us investigating reports. Now, what do you want further? We said you should take police action under brand protection, as you said, sir. Under brand protection act, sir, the police can investigate. This is a cognizable offense. So we asked the police to investigate, and their own investigation, I'll call. And because they also want to show some investigation, although they may or may not, I'm not concerned, because after our approach, then they give us a time and they raid the particular. So after that raid of that, then we bring back the duplicate products, deposit it in the police station, and then the police station starts this process. That is from the GD is made into first information report, and first information report, further 1 or 2 4 witnesses are recorded, including the notarized notary, and then the police takes action in the court of law by submitting a charge sheet. And after the charge sheet, the court takes action in due course of time and takes action either to apprehension of the accused is there, I mean the stock is, but take action for further legal processes. Their lawyer comes, the lawyer of the manufacturer come, our representative is there, and ultimately the case is decided by the court of law. So this is the normal process. There is rigorous market surveys, investigation efforts, revealing unauthorized manufacturing or distribution and sale of duplicate products, followed by the police action and then the proceedings by the police. Pawan.
You know, thank you very much. But I'd like to also point out, you see, the main aim of protecting brands is to find out as to which is the source which is causing the infringement to occur. And if we can plug the source, then we have done a better job than looking at retailers and stockists and distributors. Because any action against the stockists, distributors, retailers is more of a deterrent action. But if you want to plug the problem and if you want to sort of really get hold of the situation, then what is more important is to find where the source of duplicate manufacturing is taking place. I have another question, sir. You know, we had on this particular case, there was a lot of diverse approaches that we had to take.
This
And,
is a diagrammatic. This is a diagrammatic.
and so, if you can sort of explain the diagrammatic explanation so that people can understand as to how you actually went about this particular thing, which was a great success.
So I always said that conducting surveys, after that identifying the stockists, then you take purchase samples, and after purchase of samples, you start the process of lodging complaint, then seek police assistance, and then court proceedings starts, and the seizure of counterfeit goods is also done. That's the normal approach, diverse approach. You have touched an issue of plugging the problem right in the start. So it is not possible immediately. First of all, the impact which is there of the raid and immediate action is great, because at least for 1 or 2 months, that area will not, any of the market dealer will not get a duplicate product. Indirectly, you are impacting the producer also. B, the company is also satisfied that their product, general product, has started selling in that market. So the impact is there for raid action and for police action, followed by the court case, because he has been arrested. The accuser has been arrested. Create a lot of commotion in the other dealers. All right, they have arrested a dealer. He may come out by getting a bail, but initially he is put under police custody for 6-7 days. If not, if the court gives order, otherwise we normally ask for even 15 days remand with the judicial custody. So for 10 to 15 days to remain behind bar, either in the police custody or judicial custody, gives a deterrent. A. Now, curbing it at the source. Curbing at the source means that we should be able to identify the manufacturer. You ask the question. The manufacturer of the product may not be at a place A where the sale is taking place. The manufacturing of a product, for example, in the case of this particular product, shampoos and all, we identified the problem in Delhi and in Punjab areas. But ultimately, we took the lead. From where did you get? It took us a month and so on, and we found that it was being manufactured in Ludhiana, in a district, Ludhiana. So we, of course, so now here is that manufacturing of counterfeit. So that is a sort of process which is a little delayed to go to the manufacturer. But you are right. We approach should be to curb at the time of manufacturing. B. In this case, despite the fact that we had raided some manufacturers also in Ludhiana, despite the fact the market was again after 1 month got flooded. We were surprised to know how from where this has come, duplicate product. So from there we got started investigating, and we found that it is coming from the Nepal Bihar border. So this case, diverse approaches I've given to you. That is how we started getting into the Nepal area to uncover the route which was being followed. And therefore, on the ground investigation and some other means were used in Kathmandu to unveil the clandestine operation where counterfeit goods were being brought from China to Nepal and how from Nepal to the Indian border. Pawan.
One of the things that I wanted to mention here is as to how does this problem start. The problem basically starts with the product being available in the market, but the manufacturing of that product is not to the extent of the availability of the product in the market. So what I mean to say is that manufacturing is less, but the availability of the products in the market is much more. And this is where the companies start to get worried, because manufacturing kam ho rahi hai and the availability of the product in the market is large. Now, in this particular case, uh, just the slides are sort of moving slightly slowly. Let me just see it
You're
again.
right, uncovering the smuggling route.
No, I'm just trying to sort of get the slides in.
Approach of this particular problem. Now, we wanted to know how this is getting from China. When we reached Kathmandu with our team and as well as some representative of the genuine manufacturing of heads and shoulders, some inquiries were made in Kathmandu itself, that is in Nepal. The inquiries were made through certain contacts we had in Nepal, our own contacts, our personal contacts, and also through our investigating group, in collaboration with some small investigating group who were operating in Nepal. Now, the inquiries in Kathmandu revealed that a clandestine operation was going on, whereby the empty trucks, now some trucks were being sent with sand from Kathmandu to China border for building a road. The trucks used to come back empty. In those trucks, the Chinese duplicators and counterfeiter used to put their counterfeited product, including a huge number of heads and shoulders. So the empty trucks, when they used to come back to Kathmandu, they will come with the counterfeit products smuggled from the China border. Now, once they have been smuggled from the China border, these counterfeit products, when they reach Nepal, at storage is done at Kathmandu, as the slide indicates. Products are stored in Kathmandu and then distributed by big cosmetic groups in Kathmandu. Kathmandu had certain storage capabilities by the big groups who were storing these counterfeit products, including our heads and shoulders. And these from this storage, they were again selling the duplicate product to the local cosmetic units in Nepal. Besides that, the transportation from how it took place to India. Besides that, they used to take this is transportation to border towns. Now, from Kathmandu, they used to take the duplicate products, including our heads and shoulders, in jeeps and trekkers at that time were being used. The jeeps and trekkers will travel all the way from Kathmandu to the border of Nepal and India. Now, the product has come from China to Kathmandu. From Kathmandu, these people will sell it, I mean, transport it to China, India, from that border onward in the jeeps and trekkers to India. What was being done? Now, at these borders, where were border of Kathmandu, Nepal border, and you come to Nepal border, and from Nepal border, when there's a Bihar, in between they used to have some places where they used to store this product that is duplicate. And from there, very ingenious method was used. The duplicate products from that storage, small storage cell near the border of Nepal and Bihar used to be taken into the Indian side by Nepalese women who carried baskets of counterfeit goods, including shampoos, across porous border to Bihar side. Imagine. No, it was not on morning when you go there, tens and twenties and thirties of women early morning are carrying certain things. They're mostly counterfeit products, including to certain other things, and they go for shopping, etc., across Nepal into Indian market. So there, the Indian counterfeiters, they used to get these products from them on the basis of information obtained from their counterparts in Bihar and Kathmandu. So from there onward, they used to sell it to the Indian market. That is the Bihar market on the border of Nepal and India used to sell these products to the Indian market. The Bihar market, particularly the Sitamarhi district of Bihar, was found to have lot of storage of these counterfeit products which had come to China. Local investigations and local inquiries on the ground also reveals to us that surreptitiously the loads of these counterfeit goods were not only going to Nepal, but to other places also. But we were not concerned for other places from China. We were concerned only from the Nepal. Now, this was a very innovating smuggling techniques to cross the border, and smuggling process involved not only the ingenious method wherein the Nepalese women carried baskets of consumer goods, but also active sport from the Sitamarhi market and other market of Bihar. The covert operation, they exploited the porous border as it was very difficult to check tens and twenties and thirties and hundreds of women by the custom at that point of time. So this was a very interesting strategy, and our investigating team was able to find out, and to the great elation of the original manufacturers, they found as a now we should create an impact. How we should create an impact, that is the next process.
You see, if you look at the slide which is here now, the market impact, the heads and shoulders and other duplicate stuff which sort of moves in across from Nepal into India is available in all the small kiosks that are available right next to the border areas. And Mr. Sipal Singh, if you recall, we had to do a lot of liaising with the custom authorities. Can you just sort of throw some light on what we did with them?
Correct. This slide indicates collaboration. Now, here is that's why we started with a question that this case study is a little different from the normal case studies because here there was involvement of some authorities, local authorities of the police also, that is Nepal also. It was also involvement of the custom authorities. Now we approach the custom authorities that why can't you stop and check these women who are taking products from here? They say, sir, it's not possible. Hundreds of women are going every day, hundreds of women coming back every day, and the custom department or custom office is a very small office here. And we do not have any lady officers to conduct personal check of these women. We have got our assistant commissioner, other some officers, local assistant officers also, supervisors also, but they can check only the superficial check. They cannot check the ladies A. And then we do not have adequate staff. So anyway, with our efforts, they started checking to some extent. But then the PNG group on our report approached custom authorities at Delhi. And this collaborative effort resulted in posting of some lady custom officials on that border so that the checking of the women who were carrying heads and shoulders. They're carrying counterfeit products, but I use the word very interesting. Heads and shoulder on their heads and shoulder. I mean, the duplicate head and shoulder will spoil their hair, but they were carrying duplicate head and shoulders on their heads and shoulders to sell it to the market, adjoining market to Nepal, that is in Bihar. So I told you that this was one way. Yeah? Then mitigating efforts not only strengthen the border checks, but posting of extra staff, but also another feature we introduced, that is the big markets where they were stored in abundance, like Sitamarhi, etc. There, in collaboration with the local Bihar police, we were able to raid so that they also got deterred, that they will not try to purchase duplicate products from coming from Nepal, because they say their investigating agencies are operating all over the Bihar in the border area. They'll get us put behind the border. So it curbed the activities right at the time of origin, as you said. That is at the time of, at the point of Bihar border. And therefore, the markets which are getting flooded in Indian market, it stopped for some time. Now, these collaborative efforts by the first is manufacturers of head and shoulders. That is, they came with us, shampoo. Then the authorities in China also. So subsequently, what happened was the group, manufacturing group, regional manufacturing group also approached China, and some raids were conducted inside China also, from where it was coming. Then this was collaboration by them with the China's authority. And after that, the crackdowns on the counterfeiters in Bihar side, that is markets close to district Sitamarhi and all. And from there onward, we went ahead and raided some other markets in India to whom they had sold. So these were the various measures which were undertaken by the brand protection associate and the premier shield. At that point of time, this case study highlighted the complexities of combating counterfeiting. I mean, it's a very complex thing, counterfeiting trade. And through our diligent, I would call it, diligent investigation and concerted enforcement action, we were able to disrupt the smuggling network and also cut at the root of the smuggling from China to Nepal to India.
One of the points that I would like to mention here is that the products that were coming in from China to Nepal to India, there was nothing wrong with the products. The products were genuine. So, so you had the Indian products which were genuine, and you had these products which were genuine.
I'll submit to you, sir. I'll submit. I'll submit. Here you are getting into the other route, that there are certain products which are produced in China, genuine products. The production of some products is done in China, and they are genuine products. And those genuine products are also comparatively cheap than the Indian products. So therefore, people smuggle from China to the Indian market. That is a different story. In this particular case, this product was not being manufactured in China. The question was, this was totally duplicate product. The China's purchased from somewhere or manufactured duplicate products, because this was purely confined to the duplicate products. Of course, there were certain other products also coming with that. I told you a lot of counterfeit products, as we call it. But you are right to that extent. They were being manufactured in China, and the rates manufacturing costs, etc., in China being much less compared to India. They are available at much cheaper rate. So the smuggling take place. Our efforts was not only to curb smuggling. Our offer was to curb the counterfeit products which are being circulated in the Indian market. That is particularly I'm talking about the product. There were other products which were at cheaper rate but produced in China, genuine products. But in this case, it was a counterfeit product.
Okay, let me just move on to the. Before we uh, conclude, would you like to sort of talk of what were the lessons learned and what exactly should companies be doing when they are confronted with a situation like this?
In fact, the lesson learned was that, first of all, we should not ignore and confine our activities or investigation only to a localized place. We should always try to go beyond the nose and try to find out where this product is coming. Then the second was that we have to have not only a diligent investigation, which I have written with Premier Consultancy and investigation the group, but Brand Protection Associates through its agents, through its purchase team, was able to disrupt this network, smuggling network. I must appreciate the efforts made by some of our investigators while reaching Kathmandu and getting in touch with the and getting in touch with some of the investigators there, and also identifying the big cosmetic manufacturer who were storing the goods. You'll be surprised to know some of the officers of Brand Protection Associate, I was there to somehow oversee for some time. They were going in their blazers in the market. Nobody knew as to why they are moving about. They'll go ahead and purchase some products and ultimately come and tell the team head that this is so and so person is storing there. Because they could not be there, so there are some tourists roaming about here. So these efforts are also required to learn a lesson. Checking circulation of counterfeit products and protecting brand name can create trust in the consumer also. Then they are not affected. I mean, their heads are not, the hairs are not affected. Their products, if used for counterfeiting. So this is a few lessons. That is, you should not confine yourself to the only area close by. You should extensify your investigation. You should extensify your raids. And in fact, if possible, you should go to the, as you rightly said, to the extent where local at least counterfeiting products are being produced. So these are some of the lessons which I think we learned from this case study.
Because after the case study, I'm sure some of the people who would be manufacturers who are producing goods and are getting impacted by counterfeiting or their brands are being infringed upon. Mr. Sipal Singh, I think you'd be very kind enough if they call you up or they call anyone from Premier Consulting to address situations such as these. We'd be very happy to sort of help them out. But as we draw to the conclusion of this particular case study, we hope our exploration of this case study has provided valuable insights into the complex landscape of safeguarding brand integrity, whether it is in the FMCG sector or it is into any product that you make. This problem inflicts only those brands which have become very popular. If your brand is popular, then you are likely to encounter this problem at some point of time or the other. And before I conclude, Mr. Sipal say have the last word.
I'd like to point out sometime the laxity in the enforcement agencies of the state. These laxities were there. Of course, we could get through our effort certain extra personnel, some lady officers deployed on this border. But by and large, they were never being checked. The smuggling was being done of all goods, not only our heads and shoulders. and yet they could not do anything on the plea that they do not have adequate staff or they do not have ladies staff. So this is one reason. And second is the complex situation of investigation. It is very, very difficult to get help of the enforcement agencies in other states like Nepal, etc. In our state, we go through our act. They say this act is not applicable to us. So we have to go ahead and tell them that you can't, Indian Penal Code, certain sections are applicable under 420, etc. We tell them that these sections are also applicable in the Nepal code. So therefore, the second point is that this effort through the agencies, government agencies, is a really very tiring effort, and we should try to ease it out as far as possible. There are many more case studies. Every case study we learn different lessons. And thank you very much in any case on making slides and case study on this. I hope some of the people will definitely get benefit from this case study.
At the end of the after we conclude, we would give you the telephone number and the and the email ID on which you could contact us. Should you be having problems which are of a similar nature, please do give us a call, and we would certainly try our very best to help mitigate your problems. Mr. Sipal Singh, thank you for your time and the wonderful case study that you gave. Uh, it goes and it tells us, the amount of work that we did. In fact, for the audience, I'd like to say that we would have done in excess of about 2,000 raids on various products which were being infringed upon in the markets so far. Thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.